It's not a piece of equipment. It is a piece of crafting gear, or crafting materials. Okay. I do kind of want to try to take on one of these Slime Kings. It's a really bad idea, but we're going to do it anyways. Oh, and I should have brought in... should actually bring in Eric for this.
Here goes nothing.
Main reason being is because he has this Ooze Bruiser, which deals extra damage to slimes. Yeah, as you can see, I need all the extra damage I can get. Of course, now you would do that, wouldn't you? Shoot.
Why don't I show you how it's done?
What the hell? Why? Okay, fine. Jesus, finally.
You rang, honey?
Oh, God.
Pull your socks up.
We're dealing like no damage. Darn it, man.
How's about this for a pick-me-up? Ah!
And the AoE damage. No, don't heal. Oh, no. No, why'd it heal? I don't want to use any of his MP because I might need it for Hustle Dance. No! Stop! Stop healing, you dumb slime! I don't permit you to heal. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Please kill it. Okay, good. Woo, got one of them down. Man. Even though the only person who really needed healing was the hero, I had to use this. Gotta renew right as rain. Okay, good.
Victory!
Look at that experience in gold. Okay, we need to go somewhere to heal. Okay, we're just gonna go here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just pop out over here on the strand. And then make our way down to the, that place. Lulu? Something like that. We can also take a look. Didn't we get a new recipe too? We can take a look at that. Still need platinum ore for that. purple eye. Oh, that's pretty good too. 5 HP restored to turn. But we need a purple eye. We don't have one of those. Guess it's actually not that big of a deal because we're going to get one for finishing that quest as soon as the hero gets pepped up. So as soon as he's pepped up, we're going to go and do that quest. Guess I should check. I'm pretty sure she stays pepped up through resting. Is she no longer pepped up because we rested? I guess we'll check the first battle we get into. I actually completely just didn't pay attention to that as being an issue. But I guess it is something that may be the case. Which would be rather annoying, honestly. She not? Okay, she is. Good, 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 good. Okay.
Let me
I was worried there for a sec. Hey, what's going on, Grim?
We did it, darlings!
Not bad.
Oh yeah, Crim, so
I'm fitter than ever.
I figured out the gambling system in the casino. To the point to where I now have like 7.5k coins. Yeah. Whoops, wrong thing. You bought the game yesterday? Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's actually really easy. It would have had more, but I forgot to look at it until later in the day. All you do is there's a lady next to the slot machines you talk to, and she'll give you information on each of the slots, like what your chances of payouts are, whether the slots are hot or not, things like that. And then you just go up to whatever slot is hot. Whenever you have low coins, so like around 2 to 500 or whatever, actually well, between 200 to 4,000, you go to a 1 coin per bet and, machine, and you just hit the options button or start on your controller, and you let the game play it for you. That is literally how you do it.
This'll make your blood run cold!
I'm not joking. That's literally what you do. Yep, you just let it autoplay for you, and it does, and on average you will, well, I say on average, I only lost coins, like, where it, so what it does when you do the autoplay is it goes through 100 coins, essentially, or 100 turns, I should say. And you just let it go through those 100 turns. And I think out of doing that, when I selected the 100 coins, after I went through 100 coins, I only lost coins off of what I initially started with, maybe twice. And even when I would lose coins, it's like not by that much. You just got to make sure you pick a good machine, and you can easily reset like which machines are hot and what their rates are by just going to either the inn or some other place and resting. And you just make sure to check back. Once you get up to about 4,000 coins, then you want to switch over to the 10 coins per bet. Feeling Sarasasi. I have played the other Dragon Quest games. I've actually played every single Dragon Quest game. However, I haven't beaten every single Dragon Quest game. This is the only Dragon Quest game I've actually ever beaten. Most of the time, all the previous times I played them, I've kind of just midway through gotten bored or something. Just never really got around to beating all of them. However, this one I have beaten once, and I am now playing through my second playthrough. Oops. So yeah, a good thing to do with the casino would be to just like, whenever you're watching a stream or you have some other stuff going on, just sit there with your game on and just make sure it's always auto-playing for you, and you just rack up money or coins. It's kind of ridiculous. I would rate this one as the best, simply because it's the only one I ever cared to actually finish. I also think it has the best casts. The characters are awesome. It looks the best. The story's interesting enough. It has some twists and turns, some that aren't quite as obvious, which is pretty nice. A nice change for a Dragon Quest game, since they tend to be very, you know, predictable. I prefer the way they do the skill system in this game as well. I like this little skill grid thing. I like this a whole lot better than how they've done it in previous games. I think it's a whole lot cooler. Fine, we will sail on then. Not really, I was right there at port. Yeah, I'll do this side.
That should get the old blood pumping. Hey!
I am loving the crit rate on Claws. It is very good. Finally made it to Honolulu. My preferred builds? At what area of the game? Early game, sort of mid to late game, or post game? Because it changes for each character based on what point in the game we're at. Pretty well, not for each character, but some of the characters change quite drastically based on what part of the game you're at. I guess I could explain even with that in mind. So the main character, I like to make a beeline for dual wields. I think this is the best thing you can get for him, so I feel going up to here and then grabbing dual wield is the best thing you can do. After that, you have a choice. The choices are between grabbing the 2 crit chance ups to give him 5% more, and then also getting Giga Slash for AoE, or starting to take him down 2-handed swords so you can unlock Swords Dance right here, Tsurugi no Might. After that, there's not a whole lot you can do with him until post-game. Once you hit post-game, you're going to get some abilities down here that give him access to really strong healing, and that's the next area I would take him after that. As for Eric here, Eric is really good in the early game. He can be really good if you go daggers, swords, or boomerangs. When I played the Japanese version, I took him daggers, and he was great at the beginning, but he loses power very, very quickly. This time I've taken him boomerangs, and he's held up a little bit longer than he did before with boomerangs, because this gives him a lot of AoE. However, throughout the mid-game, he's pretty much shit. There's really not a whole lot he can do. He gets access to dual wield as well, but he's very, very weak. However, in the post-game, and especially like level 70 plus or whatever, about 80-ish, he becomes the single highest damage dealing character in the entire game. Like, not even a question. He can actually just obliterate bosses. And a lot of that has to deal with a ability he gets right here that's currently hidden. This ability right here it costs 64 MP. It's a guaranteed critical strike. So what makes him so powerful is you come down and you get him dual wields, and you get him this ability right here. This is dual wield mastery, and it makes it so whenever your offhand weapon hits, it hits for full damage as opposed to 30% damage. Then you grip him this ability right here, which is like clone. It makes 2 extra copies of himself. When that does, it makes whatever your next ability or skill or whatever you use hit 3 times. So you use clone, you use your guaranteed crit, it hits 6 times. It's absolutely ridiculous. Unfortunately, in between the early game and the end game, he's probably the worst character in the game. Veronica, I like to quickly take her up here to get Staff of Salvation, just because it's really good in the early and mid game to have just another way to heal on her. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot you can do with her. You can just take her down here and just kind of buff her up a little bit, but she's not super powerful, but she's not really weak, so there's not a whole lot to do with her. Like I said, I usually grab this, and that's about all I really care about on her. For Serena, I like to take her over here to get the MP recovery after battle, and then I like to come up here and grab all the buffs. So each of these right here, these hymns, they increase your party's resistance to magic, different types of magic elements. And this is a hymn as well. So those are all very useful during boss fights. After that, just filling out all of her stuff. Alma Mater is really good. It can, whenever you're above half HP, it can prevent a character from getting one-shot, basically. So she has a lot of really cool stuff in there. Sylvando here. You want to make a beeline as quickly as possible for Hustle Dance. He'll start off with these 2 abilities right here, and you basically want to put all your points into him until you get Hustle Dance. This is the first and earliest access to an AoE heal you get in the game, so you really want to grab this. It is fantastic. After that, I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want. He can use daggers too, and swords, and he actually gets a pretty decent sword build way late in the game, like in post-game. My preferred way to use him, though, after I grab Hustle Dance, is to actually grab things like That's Amore, Kiss Me Deadly, and whatnot, and these abilities down here, because their damage is based off of his charm stats. And what's interesting about that is he can get very high charm, and hit these abilities, they're not affected by enemy defense or magic defense, so they always deal full damage, which makes him a very potent damage dealer later in the game when his charm is ridiculously high. As for Jade, Jade is kind of the character you can do the most with if you want. Her absolute strongest build eventually comes up here, and it actually gets an ability up in here. She gets the strongest single target damage ability in the game that isn't Eric's little crit thing. She gets access to it way earlier. Essentially, once you get access to the rest of her tree, you get the ability. So what you'll want to do, you can really do whatever you want. Until she gets access to that, I recommend either spears or fist weapons. I'm trying out fist weapons now. I originally did spears. And spears get you some pretty cool stuff. You have Thunder Thrust. It misses a lot, but it can crit. And when it crits, it has a high chance to crit. So it can be good for taking out metal slimes and stuff like that. She gets some pretty good AoE damage stuff down here. And there's a lot of really good spears in the game. Because I did that in the Japanese version, I wanted to try out Claws. And I'm actually really enjoying Claws. She has this ability which gives you 10% absorption, HP absorption whenever she hits. I'm working towards this for MP absorption as well. She also has a pretty interesting build late in the game up here with Charm, similar to Sylvando. She eventually gets abilities up here that can do AoE Charm damage, so that's kind of interesting, but her in-game build will be up in this tree, up in here. Basically, she gets an ability that hits 8 times, and each of those hits can crit, so that can get pretty ridiculous. And then you have Rab. I basically have him make a beeline down here to Zing Stick, because if you've played any Dragon Quest games, you know that a lot of the times revival skills are not 100%, and actually in this game they're generally 50% chance to revive. He's the first character that gets access to 100% revive, and so I make him take a beeline all the way down to get that. And after that, I usually keep him as a main healer sub magic user, so mainly buffing his healing. However, he has a pretty interesting thing over here you can do, where you can give him fist weapons, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in here he also has the MP absorption thing. So it can be a way to give him, yeah, here we go, MP absorption 2% when attacking. So he has that with him. I never found it necessary in the Japanese game, but it might be something to look at. But I do recommend at least getting his 100% absorption. And other than that, that's all the characters other than the secret character, who I'm not talking about right now for spoiler reasons. So yeah, I hope that helps. Hope that answers any of your questions about how I like to play with each character. Yeah, of course. Some of the stuff I'm doing this playthrough is I'm purposely doing it differently than I did my original playthrough, simply because I wanted to try something different. Like, I actually think for overall damage, like, spears are better than claw weapons for Jade, for example. But I already did that, so I want to try something different.
Oh, here we are in beautiful Honolulu, a seaside paradise that Shell tells me is home to the prettiest pals in all the world.
Pearls!
Bright blue waves, pure white sands, and fabulous jewels just lying on the beach. Truly, darlings, this is the promised land. Although it does seem a little less promising than I expected, where is everybody?
Something's not right here. Still, it's not our problem. Let's just find this Kai guy and get out of here.
Yeah, Sylvando's pretty awesome. I like him a lot, too. I think he's a pretty cool character, and I also like just how he works in general in the game. That's right, I can't buy anything yet, I don't think. Okay, let's explore the town. But yeah, he's super powerful in the game, especially early on, and then he kind of falls off mid-game as well, kind of like Eric, though not as bad. Because, you know, AoE healing is always good. Another thing I forgot to mention about him, he's also the first character you get that has access to the ability to cure confusion, which is fantastic against a particular early game boss fight. And you want to be checking all the bookshelves because of this. You can find recipes for crafting in them. A lot of the time they'll have just a bunch of useless stuff, but they do have some good things. Ooh, I like this. That's 7 extra defense. But I'm getting close to getting him. I'm getting close to getting him dueled. You just got the boat? Yeah, that opens up quite a bit. And then once you get through the next like major story section with the boat, I mean, it's gonna be quite a while. I mean, you have a few extra talents and stuff to go to. But once you get through all of that, you'll actually gain access to the open worlds. And once you do, I'll go ahead and show you. Oops. Map menu, world map. If you look here on the world map, if you look at the islands, kind of like on the outer side of the map, let me see if I can point to it, kind of up. Well, my finger's gonna go off the camera, but this way, on the kind of northeastern side of the map, there's a little island there. That's Slime Island. Everything on that island is a slime of some sort. So it's a really good, sort of early to mid-game grinding spot. Everything's a slime, so you have a higher chance of seeing metal slimes. Wow. Oh, I need so much more money. I want to buy money. Ooh. Yeah, it's good metal slime grinding. I don't recommend it for late game grinding though, because you're gonna want to make use of pep abilities for late game grinding. But until then, it's very good. Okay, we're buying these. I don't care. Even if we can make these later, I'm buying one. I wanted an upgrade for Jade. Yeah, I forget the exact combination, like the names of of what it is. But there's 2 abilities in particular that you can use late game that well, kind of how to explain it. You'll use pep abilities, and it's like a combination of pep abilities. And there's one that turns enemies into other enemies, random enemies, but it has a high chance of turning them into metal slimes. So if you do this when you are level 70 plus, you'll basically get a bunch of king metal slimes, because the level of metal slime you get from using that ability, whenever you do get one, is based off of your party's average level. So early to like mid game, that Slime Island is one of the best places to level up, but late game, you really want to be using pep abilities to do it. I forget the exact combination of what it was. It's been a very long time since I did that. But I know for a fact, I think it uses Sylvando, the hero, and Jade, though. If I remember, I'm almost positive it uses those 3. And you'll definitely want to do that if you want to tackle the post-game dungeon and post-game bosses. Because you want to be near max level in order to take them on. I actually did a little showcase a couple days before the US version came out. I believe Krim was watching that, where I was playing the Japanese version of the game, doing one of the post-game bosses, and it was one of the easier forms, and I wasn't max level, and it was wrecking my face pretty hard. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're leveled up for that. Okay. Just making sure here I'm exploring every little nook and cranny we can. What sort of stuff are you gonna sell me? I wonder, do I have any coins to sell? I do not. Doesn't look like. Nope. Okay. Where have I not explored? Okay, there's that back alley. Okay. There's a lot of little places in this town that you can explore. Oh, and another little tip while I'm thinking about it. If you're looking for the side quests, right? Like right now, if you'll see, these are grayed out. If there's a side quest available to you, it won't be grayed out. It'll be in white, and it'll give you a hint of where to go and pick up that quest. And then also for like any quests that require to use a pep ability against a monster, an easy way to do that when you have a lot of characters in your party is if you need like 2 specific characters. Like right now I have a quest I haven't finished that needs the hero and Serena to be pepped up to use. So what I did was I just waited until Serena got pepped up and I moved her to the back, like into the into reserve. And while a character is in reserve, their pep won't go away. So she's pepped up right now, and all I'm doing is waiting for the hero to get pepped up again. That way I can then just go ahead and teleport over to where I need to be to do the quest. Otherwise, you could just spend hours fighting monsters and hoping for the right combination of characters to get pepped up. Anytime you see one of these red doors right here, or just anytime if you look at your map and you see like a locked door, sometimes there'll be like a little red lock like this one, sometimes there'll be a little white lock. I would mark that down, or make a note of it or something so you remember, because you do eventually get ways to open both of those types of doors. And there's some very, very good stuff behind them for you. So once you get the ability to open them, you will want to go back through the world and open them up. But if you don't mark them down, it can be a pain to try to remember where they were. I made that mistake the first time. Yo, and I feel like I have to say this because I played 130 hours, actually 140 hours of this game, close to, before I realized there's a run button. So R2, if you hold that down, your character auto runs. And like actually runs, not like walk type run. I didn't know this. I found it out on accident and I felt really, really dumb.
Look, look! Auntie's here! The show's about to begin! Are you all paying attention? Good. Then I'll tell you the tale of the terrible curse that befell our village long ago. The curse of a crafty creature with a face as pretty as a pearl, but a heart as black as coal. Now, let's begin.
Well, it's like a sprint, Krim. When you hold R2 down, your character like sprints really fast.
Once upon a time, a master fisherman lived in Honolulu. He caught more fish and gathered more pearls than any of the other men in the village. The mayor of Honolulu, the big kahuna, was very fond of this fisherman and offered him the hand of his beloved daughter. The fisherman and the kahuna's daughter agreed to be married, and the future of the village looked bright. Until the day of the storm. The fisherman was caught up in a terrible tempest, and he and his catch were thrown into the ocean. As he sank through the water, he saw the pearls he had gathered shining like stars all around him. The light faded, and he prepared to meet his maker. But instead, he met her, a mermaid more beautiful than any creature he had seen before. She held him in her arms and whispered in his ear, "I will give you your life if you give me your soul." Many days passed and the fisherman did not return. The people of the village thought him dead and held a funeral for him on the beach. But just as they were beginning to sing his soul into the next world, he appeared, exhausted but alive. The kahuna's daughter was overjoyed to have her beloved home and stayed by his bedside night and day, nursing him back to health. But the fisherman was no longer the man she knew. All day he would stare out to sea, muttering over and over, "I must marry that mermaid." Then one day, he threw his fiancée aside and ran to the harbor screaming, "I must go back to her." The kahuna was furious. He banished the fisherman from the village and burned his boat so he could never set sail again. And so, the man who was once the pride of Honolulu spent the rest of his days alone on Saikiki Beach, haunted by the mermaid who stole his soul.
Gee, I wonder where they're getting name inspirations from for this area. It's not really all that obvious, right? Couldn't possibly be Honolulu and
That's all
Waikiki.
for today, children. I'll tell you the rest of the story tomorrow.
I mean, that would be way too obvious.
mermaids are scary! Whoa! The mermaid's coming to steal our souls! Run! Aloha, friends. Is there anything I can do for you?
Maybe. We're looking for a fisherman called Kai. Do you know where we can find him?
Oh my! What a coincidence! You must be looking for my son, Kainui. Are you friends of his? I'm afraid he's not here at the moment. All the men have sailed west to fight the giant squid that's been attacking our ships. If you want to hurry things along, maybe you could go lend a hand. Once that monster's dealt with, they'll all come back to the village, sure enough. But be wary, friends. That squid isn't the only danger out on the seas. Don't let a crafty mermaid make you all pupule. I'd hate to see you go crazy.
Okay, I don't think we can go in here, can we? We can. Good. Let's go ahead and save. We have a boss fight coming up, so want to make sure. But yeah, Krim, the run thing. So I knew about this auto run right here, and I always thought this was the default speed, right? I couldn't run any faster than this. But if you hold R2, you get this. You're going like really fast. And this is the thing that I played 140 hours of without even realizing. Oops. Felt very, very dumb when I found that out.
Ridiculous!
Okay, so it's probably gonna be after this that we get. You know what's gonna happen here is we're gonna go into this battle, and while we're fighting this battle, the hero is gonna get pepped up. I just know it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a boss battle, and he's gonna get pepped up. I should probably look at skills before I do this. Okay, so I can't get the next ability on the hero. I can get... Yes, what do I want? Do I want... I mean, this has to deal more damage, right? It's the special ability. It has to, right? She can't get anything. You might be able to get something. Get Hymn of Earth or maximum MP. We're just gonna continue going with the hymns. You can't get anything. This is 10. Awesome. Okay, and actually, there's one other little thing I should mention about the skill tree. It's something I actually forgot to mention to you as well, Krim, that I forgot about. It's a way to get extra skill points and whatnot on your character. Quickly, I should say. Let me find out. There may not be a character I can do it on this early in the game. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, there is. So, let's go over here. So some of these skills are, they're considered like, I don't know what they're going to translate to as English, but they're considered like bonus tiles, right? And for instance, for Eric here, this is considered a bonus tile. What that means is when you get this, when you purchase this tile here, you will, in addition to gaining the agility plus 30, you will get an additional 10 skill points. So basically this tile for Eric becomes free. What you can do here is, if you're willing to like respec out of them, you pay the money to respec out of them, and then come all the way up here, grab this, you'll get those 10 skill points. You can then respec back out of this, and you keep those extra 10 skill points, and then you have just 10 extra free skill points. In the end, it doesn't net you anything extra, but what it can allow you to do is, if you need a few extra skill points to get a skill you really want, and the character has, you know, can get access to a like a little bonus thing like that, you can just net a few extra skill points for some gold. Not every character can do it. Like the heroes, I think, is somewhere down here in a tree that's not open, for example. But every character has a panel there that's considered one of those little special skill panels. Whenever you get it, you get bonus skill points back. So like I could do that with Eric right now if I wanted to. And then that would get him 11 skill points. So I could grab, well, I wouldn't be able to grab either of these, but it would get him 11 skill points extra from what he has right now.
These must be the gallant squid hunters. I wonder which one's our blushing husband-to-be. Yoo-hoo! Over here! Excuse me, which one of you big brave boys is Kai? They look like they're saying something, but I can't quite make it out. A good view? I love you.
No, that's not what they're saying.
Above you?
Look out! Up there! Oh, you have got to be kidding!
We meet again. Let's do Starburst through. Oh wow. That actually does some pretty darn good damage. Rude. Can we stop attacking the hero? That way I don't have to single target heal him.
That should get the old blood pumping. Hey!
Yeah, that's not gonna help you, buddy. That is. Ow. Okay.
Pull your socks up.
Heads up!
Talking about the boss? Yeah, the boss does hit pretty hard. He is assessing the situation. Ooh, we could try and reduce his defense. Actually sounds pretty good. Rude. Ever so rude. Really now? I'm gonna put her to sleep.
Rise and shine!
Oh, actually. Let's donate some MP. Oh yeah, Scorched Earth. Let's do it. Haha, does so much damage. Ooh, you knocked Rab down. See, I told you this would happen. I told you he would get pepped up in the middle of a fight.
I'm not done yet.
Oh. Oh, I think his defense down is falling off, that's why. It's like, why is that dealing such crap damage? Oh. Regular attack again. Darn it. That's not what I wanted to have happen.
Heads up!
At least that still does fairly significant damage. Yeah, you continue assessing the situation, buddy. Oh, crit. Dun, 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 dun. I actually just want a regular attack, get some MP back. Rude. Rude. Alright, I'll heal Jade. I was thinking about not healing her. But she was in the yellow. Love the crits. Come on, if we can finish him here, I can stay pepped up. Yes! He stays pepped up. That means I can go finish the quest after this.
Ah, not bad at all.
Excellent.
Nice.
Look at all that levels we're getting, like experience. Good stuff right there. Also, completely destroyed that boss.
Thank you, thank you! Darlings, it was nothing, really!
Dude, you didn't do a thing!
Mahalo, mahalo. Whoever you people are, I can't thank you enough. But I can sure feed you enough. Tonight we're gonna have a luau to remember, and you're gonna be the guests of honor.
Right? He literally didn't even fight it.
Get ready to drink, dance, and fill your belly with fish till you fall down. Come one, come all to Lona Lulu.
Well, actually, before we go do that, I want to go do a quest. Can you let me do that, please? I actually don't really care about your little party.